Good morning. It is Friday, our first full day here at Origins 50. We are just getting ready to head into the vendor hall. We'll kind of show you guys around a little bit. We're meeting with a couple of publishers today, hopefully going to show off a few new games. I know that we've got restoration games earlier today. I'm hoping we could get to take a look at Battle Monsters. But other than that, we're just going to kind of wander around, see what new cool stuff we can find. All right, we're here with Nate from Foreteller Games. He's going to tell us about...
This is Ante Heroes. It's Foreteller's first board or card game. We are going to punch each other in the face with poker hands. We have 4 different characters. Ante Heroes, A-N-T-E, because we're playing poker. We have the Slot Boxer. This guy's got a number of dials on his hand. When he punches people, they lock in, and if it's one of his matching abilities, it's going to deal damage, draw cards, allow him to play those hands of poker a little bit more efficiently. When you get into those hands of poker, we have a couple extra things that we want to add, like a 5 of a kind, because you're playing with multiple decks at once. If I end up having 4 of a kind 6s, there's a 5th one there, I'm going to deal a lot of damage for people who only have a 3 of a kind. Because your damage is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places. That means I'm going to take 7 cards off the top of my deck if I lost. 5, 6, 7, put them in my casket. That's kind of like your exile or graveyard. When your deck is out of cards, you're out of the game. Chips are only there to bully people out of their abilities and for you to participate in rounds of poker. You use those chips to upgrade your character and their core abilities. Slot Boxer, like I said, for example, he reveals 3 cards using his core ability because he's got those slots, right? In this case, I got Spades, Hearts, Spades. That doesn't really line up to anything. That would just let me shuffle them back in, draw a card. But if I have one of my other abilities here, I can replace one of those with a card in my hand. So now I have all spades, add this 5 to my hand. So I'm gonna deal 3 damage. If it's my turn, 3 more. And if I have this one, the first ability, it's gonna be all the same suit. I'm dealing 3 more. 9 damage in 1 turn from 1 ability to person. That's almost a 6 of their deck. That's a tough break, but yeah. We have tons of other characters. We have got more planned. Even the guys over at Madara, we've spoken to them recently because the artist who did this is Stephen Crow. He worked on a couple of the item cards for Madara, and we talked to Alex and Brooklyn about maybe putting in the characters for Madara in the game. So it'd be really cool to see Nightingale fighting Rook and Zeke and Zafir, whoever we end up putting in the game. It'd be really cool to see them fighting these guys too.
And this is on GameFound right now?
This is on GameFound. The preview just went live yesterday, the 19th? I don't remember. Not to date the video, but you know we're here at Origins 2025.
And is this going to go to retail also?
That's the plan. We're going to go to preview. We're hoping to get a number of followers before then, hit the campaign before the end of the year, probably show some more stuff off around Gen Con, and then get into retail and go to all the distribution, all the good stuff. You guys know how fulfillment works.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Purple, you are pink, you are dark blue. Okay, on your turn, all you do is you draw the top card. Okay, I'm terrible at shuffling, which is why it's taking me a long time. Otherwise, they're all going to be, you know, in order. Okay. 10 sticks. So we got 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Do you want to go first? You can draw the top card.
Okay.
It's not your color, so you can choose any fingertip you want to connect with the thumb of the blue player.
Oh, okay.
One hand only.
I'm okay. The thumb, I need your thumb.
Beautiful. Okay, your turn. You draw the next card. You also know your color, so same kind of thing. You can use any finger to connect with pointer. One hand only. Nice try. Okay, now you draw the card.
Purple.
Sorry. Go.
So you gotta connect with my thumb. Any of your fingers with my thumb. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
So if it's your own color, you have to use that finger, but you can choose anyone else, and they can use
Okay.
whatever. That's it. Good
Oh
luck.
my gosh. Who's letting up on the tension? Do not let up on the tension.
Okay. Guys, they're so big.
Halfway there.
Okay.
Can you have more than one stick on a finger?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You'll have to.
You have to, yeah. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Wait, okay.
Pink.
Guys, they're slipping.
Hey Josie, I need your ring finger.
Guys, it's slipping.
Didn't do it.
That's okay. Few people make it on the first try.
So one of the things that I love about Origins compared to Gen Con is it's much easier to get around. It's busy here, but you can still get through the aisles without too much trouble. I don't feel like I'm knocking over a bunch of people with my backpack. The aisles are wide open, and it gives you a lot more time to kind of stop and take a look at, all of the vendors and everything.
So essentially, kittens versus corgis. You're playing as either a kitten influencer or a corgi influencer. As influencers, your goal is to get as many followers as you possibly can. You'll see follower counts in the corners of the cards. So you're going around attacking each other, stealing each other's followers. You're protecting yourself from different attacks with defense cards. Some of them will even attack the player that attacked you back. So it's a really interactive game. It goes back and forth a lot. It can be a little bit chaotic. It's a 2 to 5 player game right now. For the base game. There is an expansion that I am trying to launch on Kickstarter sometime this year. That'll bring the game up to 8 players. And for 2 to 5 players, the game takes about 20 to 40 minutes, usually closer to 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so cute.
Very cute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Canals of Windcrest. The next game after Mistwind. It's set in the Mistwind world. It's a heavier game than Mistwind. So how it works is there's these location cards. They correspond to a spot on the map. At the beginning of each round, we're going to draft these cards, and you'll end up with 5 of them. Once you've drafted the 5, we're going to take turns playing one at a time. So on my turn, I can play a card. I would get whatever it says. So some of them have resources, and some of them have abilities that you can spend to get certain rewards. So that would be the first thing you do on your turn is play a card. The second thing you'll do on your turn is a secondary action shown down here. Similar to Scythe, if I do one action, I cannot do the same action next round. So out of the 4 actions, the first one here on the left is manufacturing. So there's a little chart on the bottom that shows a conversion of resource to export goods. All these markers will start at the bottom, and as you upgrade them, they get better and better, because as you upgrade, you'll get everything from where it is and below. So you start at the bottom with 1 manufacturing, and then as you upgrade, you'll get up to 4. Those export goods that you make, they look like this. You'll place them into your warehouse, and then you'll need to move your whale around to deliver them to any of these spots that are on the edge of the board. So this one says I want to deliver a barrel and a pigment. So if I have a barrel and pigment already made, then I would complete this, take it off the board, and then place them into my ledger here. If it covers a printed reward, you get that immediately. So I would place my barrel here and my pigment here and gain those rewards right away. As you play out the game, at the end of the game, you'll get points for the exports. Each of them has a base value. So the cans are worth 2 points base because they're a little cheaper to make, and the medicine is more points because they're a little harder to make. There's also ways in the game that you can increase the value of these goods that you export. So if you're doing, a lot of these ones, then you might want to get an extra cube here to increase the value of that at the end of the game. Okay. Yes. The second thing you can do is move your foreman around. So all players have 6 of these. At the beginning of the game, they're all locked, and then you can spend actions to put them out by going to this action here. They'll go out onto the board, basically to gain you resources, anything that's on the board here. They can also move across bridges to get you other stuff. And so they're just running around helping you collect resources that you need to, you know, make more export goods or build stuff later. The next action you can do is whale movement. So whales are super important in this game. They have 3 different uses. So the first use of the whale is this rondelle here. If I'm purple player, I want to look at what's coming up next, and I want to end my turn with the whale on whatever's next. So if I'm here, I want to look for the symbol on the map and make sure I end my turn on that spot. If I do, then this will move and I'll get whatever reward is printed here. If I have currently 2 purple whales on the board, then I can do both of them. If I have one on this and one on green, then I can move twice and get all the rewards. So that's the first use of the whales. The second use of the whales, like I've mentioned earlier, is exporting the goods. If you can align it efficiently enough that you can get this and export in the same turn, you're maximizing efficiency. The third thing you can do with a whale is pick up a passenger. Every time you build a bridge, you will automatically draw a passenger out of the bag. It'll be one of the colors of these citizens. To pick them up, all you need to do is pass by. They'll automatically board your whale. And then you need to take them to the spot that corresponds with its color. When you do, here, they'll get dropped off. And so that's the third use of your whale, is dropping them off. So if you can align the rondelle movement, the passenger drop off, and exporting, then you've maximized your whale's efficiency. The passengers will get placed on these spots, and these are how you get multipliers for your export goods. So if I do a lot of medicine, I can place it here and put a marker down on my medicine and increase the value. The last thing you can do is build. So you can build whales, you can build bridges, and you can build buildings. So how this works is buildings, there's a little spot on the map for each location. You'll place the building tile down and mark it with your control marker to show it's yours. The other thing you'll do is place
I'm pretty sure I saw
a clear card that has the same symbols into the location, and it upgrades the card. So now, when you use the card on a later turn, you'll get the base plus whatever this is. And because at the beginning of every round we're drafting the cards, you might not get this card, someone else might get this card. But whoever owns the building is going to get this red reward here. There's 2 different types of buildings. There's abilities, and then there's point scoring ones. So you can choose, and the different resource costs are printed on the bottom of your player board there. Yeah, so there's a lot going on, but
there's a lot of
so the majority of your points is going to come from exporting. So if you can see here, the more exports you have, the more points, because they are worth points on their own. And also, if you finish a column, it's worth extra points. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you can add cubes to increase the value.
And when will this be available?
This is going to go on Kickstarter probably in a couple months, about maybe September, October. We haven't set a date fully yet, but hoping before the end of the year for sure.
Cool. Hello, I am Beth from Restoration Games, and we're here at Origins, and we are showing off Battle Monsters. So Battle Monsters is our restoration of Battle Masters, which was a fantasy-themed fighter game. It was so large that the board was a twister mat. You had to play on the floor. So ours uses the legendary Monsterverse characters. Still big and epic, but we at least put it on a table for you. So in this game, you are Titans, you're brawling it out, trying to take out your opponent. And the way that you do that is we're going to have an initiative deck that's going to run things for us. You flip over a card. It'll tell you if you're activating your troops or your titans, and then you have 3 actions to spend. You can move around, you can attack, titans can energize to prepare for stronger attacks later, troops can fortify and reinforce to get a little bit more health and get back on the board. Each titan and each faction has unique abilities. So Godzilla can upgrade their abilities. King Ghidorah's flinging rocks all over the board. Each of the troops, each faction has 3 troop types, and those are able to do different things, and you have multiple units. So you can have one move and attack, you can have another one attack on the other side. The troops are able to do a little bit of area control on the board. They can take over an enemy's bunker, which will help a Titan evolve faster. They can gain resources. Those resources will let you do things like do a reroll on some attack dice, boost your attack, move a little bit more. You can have your Titans attack your troops instead, breaking a little rule there. Normally it's Titan v Titan. All of those will let you change the game a little bit. So when you attack, you're going to roll some attack dice. You'll take your highest number, that's your attack strength, and then your opponent can roll some defense dice, compare, subtract, knock down some health. The thing is, the dice don't have a 0, okay? They have these little slash marks. That's rage. Your Titan's going to get more and more enraged, and that's going to tick up on their board, and then they're going to get rage cards. This thing gives you a hand to manage, which lets you then have some epic attacks later. You can stack those cards for some bonus stuff. Endgame is triggered by a Titan getting to 10 health or less. Once that happens, you check your round deck. If you still have cards left, then you have a chance to try and just get in there and pummel the other Titan. Can you be the last Titan standing? End of the round, either last Titan standing or Titan with the least health, the one left wins. So everything you see here on the table is what you get in a 2-character box set. This is King Ghidorah versus Godzilla. This is a prototype, but they are going to be about this scale. The Titans are quite large. They're not so miniatures. You'll have this box set. You'll also have Kong versus Mechagodzilla. The really cool thing about these, they're fully mix and matchable. So if you're familiar with Unmatched at all, we've kind of kept that going. This is almost like Unmatched on steroids a little bit. So you can mix and match your factions, your Titans from either box. You can have King Ghidorah's faction fight with Godzilla. That's totally fine. Have fun. You can have Kong fight with Godzilla's faction. Totally different gameplay then. The boards are also going to be double-sided. So if you get both sets, you're going to have a total of 4 different maps that you can play on. Those are also different. They have different challenges, different ways that the troops have to move around things. I think there's water on one that affects them. So we got all kinds of cool stuff with it. It is also a fully playable 1 to 4 player game with just a single 2-character box. So each faction has a little automa puzzle that you get to play against if you're solo. Yep, and then of course, you know, a lot of people are going to do the head-to-head 2-player battle, of course, but there's also 3 and 4 players. So if you're playing at 3 or 4 players, on one side you have 1 player control troops, 1 player control a Titan. And then if you wanted, you could even do a light co-op, have one of you control a Titan, one of you control a troop, and play against the automa. So lots of different ways to play, fully mix and match. It's got a lot to it, but it's also very approachable. It's like 60 to 90 minutes, you know, gives you kind of that war game experience without like the 6-hour war game deep evening. So.
And is this going to be coming to retail also?
It will. So we just finished our Kickstarter. Late pledges are open. They'll be open for a few months. That's your way to lock in the Kickstarter pricing, guarantee a copy. We also will have a Mothra. She's up there. You can kind of see her on top of the display case. So Mothra is going to be a single character box. She's part of our Kickstarter campaign and then will be available probably at shows and through the restoration site, but we're not planning on her being in distribution. But the 2 character boxes will be available through regular retail, probably Q3 next year. But right now, if you back late pledge, then that'll lock you in. Also, the box does fit in the calyx. So, Unmatched. The Unmatched system is a system of unlikely battles, and each box we kind of call a standalone expansion. You can get a box that plays totally on its own, but you can mix and match them. So you can take heroes from this set, heroes from another set, and battle it out. You want Little Red Riding Hood to fight against a T-Rex? Cool, make it happen. We can have that. So Battle of Legends Volume 3 is our newest release. It has some really interesting characters. So we have Pandora, we have Chupacabra, we have Blackbeard, and we have Loki. Each character in an Unmatched game, they come with a miniature, which is washed and has some good detail to it, and then they have their own character deck. This is not a deck builder, but it is a really interesting puzzle to master your deck. Each character is going to play a little different, but at its core, you're going to have 2 actions on your turn, so you can maneuver, you can scheme, and you can attack. And you're trying to knock out the other player. It is a fighter. Everybody has a health dial, and the way that you're going to do that is then with the cards that are in your deck. So Lightning Bolt is scheming. They're kind of tricky things. They let you do some different abilities. The shield is your defense, so when someone's battling against you, you'd be able to try and block their attacks with that. Purple lets you do defense or attack, and then red with the little punchy symbol is the attack. So your strength is up in the top corner, but a lot of cards will do tricky things with the text effects. So whenever you are adjacent or in the same zone, whether you are ranged or melee, then you'll be able to choose to attack. So you would put a card face down, they have the chance to put a card face down as their defense, and then you'll flip them and compare. You check the numbers, if there is an attack that hits, whatever the difference is, that's what you tick down in the health dial. But there are immediate effects, during combat effects, and after combat effects that happen. And so that can sometimes cancel card effects, do an extra hit, change your number. So you can be really strategic in the cards that you're playing and the way that you kind of manage your deck. So Pandora is interesting. She, of course, if you're familiar with mythology, Pandora's box, she cannot help but open it. So she kind of has a little bit of a push your luck gamble mechanism. She'll flip cards, they'll help her or hurt her, but the feathers, she doesn't want those are the miseries. As those start showing up, she's pushed her luck too far, opened the box too wide, bad stuff happens. But she can also get a lot of good things, and they can play into the cards in her deck. Chupacabra is all about that chomp, chomp, chomp. It's gonna come after you, gonna hit you hard, latch those teeth in. So Chupacabra is a character that gets to draw a card after each attack. Normally you only get to draw a card if you're doing a maneuver, but Chupacabra chomps on you, draws another card, chomps again. They're gonna come after you hard. Blackbeard is interesting. He has a chest of doubloons. This is something that is placed in front of your opponent, and Blackbeard is able to pay those doubloons to like get extra actions or do things, and then you kind of like a ransom can choose then if Blackbeard plays a card, you can pay the doubloons to cancel whatever they're trying to do on the card. But that puts it back to Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard can use that doubloon to do extra actions. So how much is that thing hurting you? Do you want to give them the opportunity to do more stuff? Is it worth it? It's an interesting decision space with the back and forth. Loki is very tricky, appropriate, he's a trickster. So Loki has cards. Let me see if I can pull one out. Yeah, so you'll see there's a Loki and a not Loki. Loki's gonna put cards in the opponent's hand. That's gonna muck up their hand. So then there are some cards that play into that, depending on how many tricks are in the opponent's hand. That'll change Loki's cards. But also, that means that there's less that they can do with their cards because their hand is stuck with Loki's tricks. So they can play them, but some of them are not so good for them. So then they have to decide, is it worth it to play this to get it out of my hand so I can get my stuff back, or does this hurt too much? And the art is crazy. They did such a good job with everything. I love the Loki character.
We are on all of the Unmatched.
They do such a great job with the art. It's gorgeous. Card backs are crazy. Yeah, so this one is available. If you order through our website, there is a free Loki foil that you can get that'll just swap with the card in your deck.
If they're rain.
And this is, yeah, one of our public domain sets. And then The Witcher is one of our IP sets. So, you know, we do a mix of things. And even if you don't know the character, though, like the design team has done a great job that they're interesting to play, even if you're not that interested in the IP. And then everything is fully mix and matchable. So if you want Geralt to fight Loki, cool, have fun.
Well, we got back to the hotel room and ended up falling asleep, so we are now heading to Moran's to grab dinner instead of the North Market, which was the original plan. Everybody, we just got back from dinner. We went to Moran's. It's a super cute, super small place, but has really good food, really affordable prices. You get decent portion sizes, and it's almost never busy there. It's right kind of kitty corner to the North Market, but for some reason this place is never busy. It's a nice spot. I definitely recommend checking it out. I got the salmon BLT, which is one of my favorite sandwiches. I love salmon. They didn't have capers. My favorite salmon BLT had capers on it, but they stopped putting them on there. I can't find one now that has it for some reason. But still, the sandwich was really good. And then I got the Rheingeist Mango Bubbles beer, and it was very fruity. It was really sweet, almost, way sweeter than most beers I would normally drink, but it was good. It at least seemed kind of balanced, not overly fruity. All right, let's see what everybody else had. Jen, what'd you have?
Yep, they had a half rack special today, so it came with ribs, and then you got to pick two sides. So I had the ribs, and then the house salad, and macaroni and cheese. Everything was really great. The house salad had like tons of vegetables in it, like onions, or tons of toppings on it, like onions, tomatoes, green peppers, celery. There's just like everything on there. Everything was really good. And then my beer that I got was the Boat Show, and that was kind of like almost like a hazy, but not quite, just shy of a hazy, I would say, but very good also. And I would definitely get that beer again.
I did try some of it. It was very good.
It was very good.
Nora, what did you have?
I also had the ribs, and they're really good. And I got lots of French fries.
She got a double order of French fries.
I didn't finish them all, but I'll eat them later.
Yeah, good hotel snack. And what drink did you get?
I got peach berry something. Lemonade. Yeah.
Peachberry lemonade.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a like a mocktail menu there, so the girls each got to get something. Joe, what did you get?
Oh, okay. I got the rattlesnake pasta, which is like, okay, so it was pasta with like a spicy sauce and chicken breast and then some peppers. It was really good. Like,
Yes.
It wasn't that spicy either, but it was really good, especially the chicken. And then for my drink, I got the dragon fruit lemonade mocktail.
The pasta was really good. I did try that too. All right. Now I think we're just kind of cooling down in the room right now because it's very warm outside now, very humid. But we're gonna kind of cool off a little bit and then head down to the open gaming space.
Couldn't agree more. No, don't do that.
Couldn't agree more. No, don't do that. Your turn.
Okay. Ma'am, one more. More. Oh, what is red?
It's another one that goes in front of you.
Oh, good, good. When another player draws a card, I yell, "Stop!"
Couldn't agree more. No, don't do that.
Your turn.
You lose a token.
And one more. At the beginning of my turn, I raised my first fist and yelled, "Yeah!"
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun.
Your turn.
I'm hungry. Hungry.
You lose a token.
Okay. Stop. And one more. Stop. Cheese.
When I play a card, I have them land like an airplane.
Oh wait. No, don't do that.
You lose a token.
Your turn.
All right, everybody, we are back at the hotel room. It is just after 11 again. Kind of calling it early, both nights so far. But again, being out in the convention all day does take a lot out of you. So it's okay to go to bed at some point. We just spent some time down in the open play area. We played Vegas Strip, a new game from Allplay and Peter Hayward. That was a surprisingly thinky game. A lot of bluffing involved, a lot of double think. Jen whooped us. And then we played a very silly game called Foolish Fool, which was just a silly party game where there's going to be a bunch of rules on the table. You have to try and keep up with all of them. It was definitely a good laugh. I think that's it for us for tonight, though. I'm gonna start editing this video, and we're gonna get some rest and rest up for tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Worker placement all goes wrong. Trading sheep for way too long.